Hello, Brigadiers and Brigadettes and hockey fans alike. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to my channel. Now let's jump into some hockey content. Hello everybody, sorry for the mishap yesterday. I had some family issues. I live a few hours away from my family. Most of them are pretty good. There's a few that cause issues. Yesterday one of them did. I apologize for them acting that way, and then I apologize I wasn't able to get the video done and out on time, just with the way they reacted and stuff. It was just a whole bunch of drama that I'd rather get the video out a day later, but on the normal schedule. And like I said, we're still going to get the other video out, the Red Wings video, that's going to be out tomorrow, so it's going to be back-to-back videos. So hopefully if you enjoy watching this, then you'll enjoy, having back-to-back videos. That's pretty cool. And then I apologize for my hair. I don't know what's going on. I combed it backwards, and it's still having issues. But with that being said, let's jump into talking about the team that we're going to cover today, and that is the Dallas Stars. I think I have like a little hair stuck on my jersey. No, it's good. Anyway, the Dallas Stars. The first question we're going to ask is, does the realignment help the Stars? Personally, I think it does. They ended up gaining Vegas in this potential new division, which isn't, in stone by any means yet. But if this is a new division, they lost Minnesota, Nashville, Winnipeg. The new division would consist of Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, Los Angeles, San Jose, St. Louis, and again, Vegas. Normally, I would say that if everyone is healthy, Dallas has to be at least third in this division, with St. Louis being behind them. So St. Louis would probably be fourth in the division. We've already talked about my view that Colorado and Vegas are probably the two favorites in the West for at least 2 years. They're the true favorites and contenders for the Cup. Unfortunately, the Stars aren't healthy, but if they really want to prove that not only to me, but to the rest of the league that they're a contender, I think that they're still going to have to get past St. Louis. Regardless of the injuries, it's still going to have to happen. I know they're banged up, but, Dallas fans, I'm not going to say that we've had scuffles, because we haven't. They've been pretty well behaved for the most part. But one thing is, I don't view them as a real contender, and I think to me, if you really want to show me that you're a real contender, then you should be able to at least get past St. Louis. And I'd like to see them hang out with Colorado and Vegas, at least in those big games. I don't see that happening. And while I do think that Dallas is a good team, they're a team that, they've already been on their run. These good teams that, sometimes strike gold and hit while the iron's hot, and they go on their run. I think that's Dallas. I think that that's their run. And I think that will be the best run they go on. Not a bad run. 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup. Regardless, Dallas is most likely the lucky team to be the most lucky team to move, with the new additions of Minnesota bringing Kirill Kaprizov. He has 230 points in 290 KHL games. And it looks like Kevin Fiala could carry that hot streak. He had a pretty good streak to end out the season for the Wild, along with Nashville. They're always consistently good. Roman Yossi's good. They've got just some pieces with Duchesne and some other guys that I think that they could bounce back. And then Winnipeg, they got Paul Stastny. They got back from Vegas. And then they've got Connor Hellebuck in net. So, and the great impressive forward group. So I think they got lucky being able to get out of the Central Division. And yes, they did gain Vegas. And yes, obviously St. Louis and Colorado is heading with them. But, they lost those other teams. So I think that's going to help them out when you have Anaheim, San Jose, and Los Angeles, which should be better. But I think that they, especially for, those teams that I mentioned, I don't think they should be as good as them yet. I could be wrong. Now, the second question, should Dallas, I don't know what I had there. Should Dallas extend Heiskanen now? I looked online and I couldn't find anything on whether or not you can extend players right now. Probably not. But currently Miro is only under contract through this season while he's an RFA. I do think that, I almost want to say Vegas, I don't know why, that Dallas should saddle up the pony, give him at least a 5-year deal. Heiskanen's really good. He's really young, and I'm not normally a fan of long-term deals, but I think since he's young and been this good, maybe not like a 8-year deal by any means, but a 5-year deal would be pretty good for both sides. Heiskanen had 35 points in 68 games played last year, good for 0.51 points per game. And it's pretty clear that he's a two-way defenseman. The thing I wanted to talk about was the playoff run last year. I'm only including stats from the first round into the Stanley Cup Finals, not the qualifying round. Heiskanen had 22 points in 24 games played last year, good for 0.92 points per game. I also had how many goals and assists it was. I don't remember exactly. I think it was 6 goals and 16 assists, if the math works out to that. I could be wrong about that, but I had that typed out, but for some reason it got deleted. I'm not saying that this is the new reality for Miro, but I do think that we saw a glimpse of what his future could be like. Maybe a point-per-game defenseman that plays a good two-way, game. He's a good defensive player as well. Miro is a crucial part for the Stars on both sides of the ice. And to be honest, there were times in the playoffs, especially against, I think, Colorado, Vegas, the contenders in my eyes, where Dallas was getting completely outplayed and Miro would come out on the ice. And I think the game, it sounds a little cliche and I know a lot of people say it, but they would say, oh, it looks like it slowed down. The game slowed down. And I think it did. I think that it slowed down. Maybe the other team wasn't getting as many chances with him out on the ice. And, Dallas was able to at least be about even keel with these contending teams. Now, I'm not sure what his contract will look like if he re-signs with Dallas. But last season, his total worth came out to about $9.5 million. There's a website that I have that covers a lot of that stuff, and he was worth about $9.5 million. He was only getting paid about $830,000, if I believe. So $9.5 million. I'm not saying the Stars should, give him $9.5 million, because obviously they have some other guys they have to, pay. And if you want to be a contending team, then you have to be able to have everybody take a little bit of a pay cut. But I think something that's fair that, would fairly compensate him while also trying to make it friendly for the team to be able to contend would be huge. I don't know, let me hear what you have to say. I almost screwed that up like last video, but let me hear what you have to say about this. What contract do you think that the Stars should offer him? Now, we have the third and final question. Can Hudobin repeat his playoff success? After Anton Hudobin captured the heart of many fans last year, the Stars, managed to make that run to the Stanley Cup Finals. He got to perform just an insane level. It was incredible. He managed to drag this team. I don't know drag, but, he was able to, be there in some big moments and get this team to the Cup. But now he's got to perform all year, and if he doesn't, I don't think the Stars will make the playoffs. With Bishop out rehabbing an injury, Dobby has to step up, and he has to drag this team, like I said. Sagan's out. The offense is probably going to suffer. They're losing one of their best offensive players with Sagan being out. Hudobin just signed a 3-year, $10 million deal this offseason. Depending on how things go, I think he could be the starter for next season if things go well. Although I think, in my personal opinion, Bishop will probably get the starting gig in net maybe this year or next year, but I think it's going to swing back to Bishop. One thing that worries me is Hudobin is 35 and is nearing 35. He's like 3 months away. And it's concerning that the team is relying on a 34-year-old starter to get them in the playoffs. It'll be a tough task for Anton Hudobin, but the team was second in goals allowed last season, 7th for high danger chances against. That's a good thing. 10th in shots against, and 11th for scoring chances against last season. They're a defensively sound team that I think, as long as he's healthy and well-rested before the season, he could end up getting them in the mix, and then Bishop could come back, relieve some of that pressure. Again, this is where the rubber meets the road, kind of that saying, where Dallas is a path. They can go one way or the other. They can step up in the moment and prove me and some other people wrong and say, we are the real deal, we are contenders, and even with these injuries, they can fight for a playoff spot and be in the thick of things. And, maybe make some noise. Or they can revert to what I think they are. I think they're a good team that probably could sneak in the playoffs and then get beat first or second round. Dallas is going to have to step up, and they're going to have to prove that this last year wasn't a fluke and this wasn't their best run. I know they've got some young pieces that are exciting. Personally, I'm excited to see what Dallas has to offer this year. We'll see how it goes. I'd love to see Dallas go, on another run again. They've got some guys I like on that team. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Did I say that right? Let me know what you think. Yes, I did. And tell me, what are you expecting from the Dallas Stars this upcoming season? Do you expect them to be back defending their Western Conference Championship, or do you expect them to miss the playoffs entirely? Let me know what you think. As always, have a great, what is today, Monday? It's so weird being off. Everybody stay safe from COVID. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes, and hockey fans in general. This is your captain signing off. Have a great week.